Welcome back to the Absurd Show. Sardor, myself, Andrew, here to bring you the latest in tech, AI, everything in between. We'll be talking a little bit of the AWS outage, some of the memes that came out of it, and I'm excited. We got a really good lineup of topics and things to go through today. How are you feeling, Sardor?
Yeah, as mentioned on the last episode, we're stepping it up here. Not in person this time, but we just ordered our mics for the next episode. So that's exciting. We're stepping it up, like I said, every time. One little improvement every time, like James Clear makes it clear that you should be moving in increments, right? The guy that wrote the book about habits, The Power of Habit. No, it was the
Atomic Habits. Is that what it's called?
Atomic Habits. That's the one. Yeah, Atomic Habits. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I think we have a really good lineup. And I'm going to be, I think in a month or so, we're going to do another in person. I'm going to be in Miami again, so I'm traveling currently. But nice. Yeah, without further ado, let's get started. I'm excited to discuss all these things.
Yeah, and on the topic of book recommendations, I've been reading one that I picked off the shelf after a while. I want to throw it out there. The Tipping Point, How Little Things Can Make a Big Difference.
Malcolm Gladwell. My favorite.
Yes.
Did you read the newest one? He just released the Revenge of the Tipping Point.
No, I haven't. I know. I'm learning about the hush puppy craze.
Yeah.
Before Steve Madden was Steve Madden, Hush Puppies.
Yeah. A great book, great fucking book. Honestly, it's every marketer should read this book. So rightfully so, Andrea picked it up. But interestingly, on the new book, you know how authors re-release their old books on a new cover just to make more sales? I thought it was going to be the same, but this guy this time around says he probably wouldn't agree with a lot of stuff that's in his original book, and he's therefore rewrote another one, which I started reading, but I haven't finished. I bought it on Audible, but nonetheless, I love this author. I recommend all his books. I've read his book, David and Goliath. Read his book, the Outliers is a great book. It's about how outliers, why they are such a big. There's a big difference between the regular people and the outliers. So Malcolm Gladwell is a great author.
Yeah, we're gonna have to whip up some blogs on Malcolm Gladwell.
Let's do it.
Yep, and I'm excited. I'll bring some updates or takeaways each week.
Let's go.
So with that being said, we are gonna get right into some big news from today. OpenAI. Sardor's been screaming it from the rooftop, I think the whole year throughout the podcast, of OpenAI is going to a browser and then eventually an operating system. Well, they've been teasing around with agent mode and different new products, but they finally dropped their browser, ChatGPT Atlas, available today on Mac. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, this is incredible. I just downloaded this browser. I'm surprised how I missed it. Funny enough, when you said Atlas, it felt like, it's interesting also on the naming side, how these guys name things. They kind of use older names from other products, and they just kind of know if they got a bigger audience, they can just dominate that name. The name Atlas actually belongs to Stripe. Stripe has this product called Atlas, which helps you open up your LLC from anywhere in the world. And these guys, they definitely knew that they could steal this name and just dominate this category and own it, right? Because they got such a big leverage with 800 million users. Same with Gemini, you know how Google, when they renamed their Bard into Gemini, there was already a Gemini, the crypto app. And they're like, oh, we can just take away the first position, So, but yeah, that's just the side note. But I'm super excited to test this out. I have been using, as you guys know, Perplexity browser, the Comet browser from Perplexity. And I got to say it's been great, but it doesn't quite deliver on the agent speed and accuracy. So it's not at the point where I delegate all the tasks that it could possibly do to it, right? I'm not talking about fully autonomous projects yet. I'm just talking, one of the things I've used the agent mode and Perplexity browser is we do a lot of reconciliation, right? Where we have to check payments coming in against the contracts executed. So our contracts are on PandaDoc, our payments are in Stripe. So one thing that I would ask is for this client, can you check the contract and check it against the payments received and how much payment is left for which milestone, right? That'd be something I'd have to manually do, and then Perplexity did it for me. But I'm at a point that I think I've kind of ran on the excitement of this being even possible and discounted a lot of its speed. And when that wears off, you realize that it's actually not that good. Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram, recently spoke on a Lex Friedman podcast about the speed and how he optimizes for speed of execution on every single feature, even the speed of load of page. Like, he gets obsessed with it. So what I want to say is, like, I'm sure Comet team understands this, but these agents have been very slow, at least for me. So I wonder if it actually works as fast as they're showing it to be working here. So I'm going to test it. I'm going to give my honest review on this browser on our next episode. I'm going to be testing this for the next 7 days actively.
And lot in there that I have some thoughts on. First one, you mentioned Stripe Atlas. I did see this week they added the ability to capital raise through the platform as well.
Really?
Issue your safe notes, check funding of those safe notes. So what?
Oh, but not find investors. It's like, given that you have investors, you can handle it through Atlas.
Yeah, you don't need Carta anymore, so to say. Carta kind of dominated the monopoly of the cap table and safe note issuance space. Take Equity came in to make it much more friendly for early startup founders. Now Stripe Atlas, company formation, you can also do your capital raising docs right in there as well. So figured that was worth a good mention.
No, I mean, but these guys are going to take it away, so I mean, it'll probably be called Stripe Atlas, and this will just be called Atlas. So imagine trying to compete with Google on the name Chrome, right? Like, you wouldn't want to call your product Chrome, even if your product was called Chrome before. You'd want to probably rename it. So just shows how audiences just have so much leverage, you know.
And as you mentioned before, all these AI browsers coming out built on Chromium. Atlas is also built on Chromium, so it can even import your Safari and Chrome data.
Safari, I didn't know
as a knowledge base for it. To my understanding, it's part of
Can I just comment on how smooth my experience has been? So I've been always a fan of alternative browsers and alternative products, right? So I've been user of Brave for like 5 years until Comet, and the fact that, like, when I launched Comet, dude, how it imported all my data from Brave to Comet seamlessly. It's just one-to-one. It did not feel like I switched browsers. It's just incredible. Compared to how it was back then when I was switching originally from Chrome to Brave, that was not a smooth experience. I had to re-enter a lot of my data, my passwords, everything. Here, everything just copied. Like, it felt like I just changed the UI and that's all. Like, nothing else changed on the back end. So I assume it's going to be the same here. Although, you know what's interesting? When I was just signing up for Atlas, additionally, it asked me access to a lot of my installed apps on my computer, like Google Drive and Fathom, and a lot of my Mac apps. So I guess if this is what I'm thinking, then it would be great. You know what's missing in a Perplexity browser is that it only has access to the browser, but not to the device. If this has app access beyond the browser, that is incredible. That would make this a go-to place. I don't have to go on my computer. Most of the times I could just like do it all from the browser, which inherently makes the browser almost an operating system, right?
Yeah.
So just
it is
props to them.
You know, people talk about, but you don't think about the volume of which you're switching between the ChatGPT app or on the browser in a web app and back to your browsers and transferring information between those two. This, as you're browsing, you can highlight things and ask ChatGPT questions while you're on certain articles, which to my understanding, Comet had that, but I never really picked up Comet. I was waiting on a wait list.
Just use the ChatGPT, right? You don't switch between 17 different AI models every day like I do, so good for you, though. That's exhausting because sometimes I can't remember where I had a chat and none of them have a complete picture about me. So, but one thing, can I just comment if I know like Sam is a big fan of ours and you know he's listening. So Sam, like one thing if you guys haven't implemented is, have you been using WhisperFlow?
No, I have not.
Dude, you are missing out.
You told me to get on it. You
should get on it. You'll be such a big fan. People with ADHD must use it. Like, even Tolkien, who's not ADHD in our team, like, he uses it and he loves it. He does not type anymore. And you know why this is great? Not only because this uses AI to transcribe accurately, but because of how accessible they made using the product. And by accessible, I mean no mouse moves. Every product should strive to have keyboard shortcuts. Agree or not agree? Do you use keyboard shortcuts?
I try to.
Dude, it will change your life if you start using keyboard shortcuts because mouse movements are so slow. And like Superhuman is the king of keyboard shortcuts. you can get through the Superhuman app entirely without a mouse, entirely through your keyboard. And like, because you have a muscle memory on your keyboard, right? You'll be doing shortcuts and flying through your experience. So why I talk about WhisperFlow is like, dude, once you install WhisperFlow, your the button for the option on your Mac, right? The option button on your keyboard, that when you hold it, it calls WhisperFlow. That's it. So you don't have to click around anywhere. You just have to hold one button for this to work. And what I'm trying to say with this, Andrew, is like, what's kind of annoying with Comet browser is I have to navigate to the bottom right, to the top right, to call the agent. Versus with WhisperFlow, I just hold one button. That's a huge difference. If you think about it on a user experience level, that is a massive difference on how I'm able to access the feature. You follow?
I think so. I'm gonna have to try.
Okay, let me reiterate.
Yeah.
Imagine having to like go and search for the UI button to call the agent. Have you used the agent on the ChatGPT browser yet?
Yeah.
On Atlas?
Yeah,
so is it a button at the top? Is the button at the top of the browser?
No.
How do you call the agent?
Oh, you're saying in Atlas. I thought you were talking about in regular.
In Atlas.
Yeah. In Atlas, it's right there, readily available. As soon as you go into.
So when you open a new tab, you have to navigate to it. But when you're on a page, let's say you're on a page and you want to perform an action on a page.
Yeah.
And for those who are listening, if you don't know what an agent is, it's essentially like it's an on-page assistant that can get access to your browser. Like if I want to perform an action, I don't have to search through the. Oh, honestly, you know what's been the biggest use case for me for the agent? Do you ever have a situation when you're on an app and you don't know how to find a certain feature?
Yeah.
Like, for example, the other day, what did I add you to? I think I added you to Stripe, right? As a user. Like it was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I added you to our Stripe account as a user. Like how I used to do is I would search through the UI. I'd got to go through settings, find where to add a user. Versus what I did on a Comet is like I said, add Andrew as a user to Stripe, and it figured out the UI and it did it for me, right?
The agent did it. Okay, wow.
The agent did it. So the biggest lift for me with the agent has been figuring out the UI. It's like this agent turns every UI into a chat, which has been my prediction from 3 years ago when I said all the UIs by default will become chat. Why do you need to search through buttons when you can just chat, right? So what this agent does is it turns every UI into a chat, which is amazing because the chat then figures out where to click on the UI, which is an amazing layer over a UI.
This is the perplexity agent you're referring to.
This is the perplexity agent, right? So I think these guys did the same. But again,
to answer your question, this is how you can call the agent in chat.
That's in chat, but how do you call the chat? You have to click on a button at the top, correct?
Gotcha. So one thing I did just notice, I went to a new browser to start the chat.
The new tab.
After it sent me these links, when I clicked them, it shrunk this over to the right and pulled up the tab over here, the page.
Inside the tab.
Yeah.
Or it changed the tab.
Yeah, it turned the chat into a tab. It popped out the link.
You were just in a chat and it just pulled up the. I see that. That's smart. That's better. Yeah, right.
And then watch this. If I click the Forbes Council link, it didn't do it that time. It didn't do it that time. That is interesting. It's links from the chat then.
I see what you're saying. So they're turning the chat itself into a browser. Oh, there we go. Right. That's smart. That's very smart. They're turning the chat itself into a browser. I see. That's amazing. So look, this is how it should be. But again, to call the agent, you have to open a new tab, right?
To call the agent, yes.
Meaning to open the chat with the agent, I have to open a new tab.
Well, any tab is a chat already, so
That's right. So, but if I'm on a page, let's say I'm on Stripe and I'm trying to add you as a user, how do I call the agent? Is what I'm asking. Yeah, okay. Let's go on. Yeah, any website. Yeah, how do you call an agent from here? You see, you're having to figure it out. That's already a fail on their side. Yeah, so there it is. At the top, click on that. Yep, there we go. So this is the same as the Comet browser. What I am suggesting to Sam and the OpenAI team here is turn that into a keyboard button. That's all. So I don't have to navigate. Just make this a button on my keyboard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
So it's like WhisperFlow is the same. I can just click the button on any app, and it will work inside that app. And what that creates, you think it's not a significant change, but what that creates is a muscle memory, Andrew. And muscle memory creates habit. Speaking of, right? We were just speaking full circle.
Yeah. What I see this breaking out to in my head is when you see those movies of AI and like you're just talking to some device and it's taking all these actions, this is one of those stepping stones. This is one of those moments that a lot of people overlook.
It's like built in, yeah.
Where it's good. Well, we're getting towards that.
We're in towards that, exactly. But
Yeah.
we know what it takes to get fully there is like they have to have their own operating system. They know that. Because browser is like 80% of your operating system, but it's not fully there. Like you still have your data outside of your browser. For them to have a full data on, they have to own the operating system, which is where they're going with this. But I love their approach on building the stepping stones, right? They started with the chat, then they added an agent inside the ChatGPT itself. Then they did the browser, right? And then they're gonna do the software, and in parallel they're doing the hardware. Honestly, dude, I think I'm the biggest backer of OpenAI. This guy does not disappoint. I mean, the $500 billion valuation is not just justified. I think it's undervalued.
I would tend to agree. So I'm excited to see what it's like playing around with this week, and then we'll
give a review. Stay tuned.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some of our other topics for today. This one pulls in data directly from Perplexity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was waiting for
this. Is their official page? Ask Perplexity official page?
Yeah, yep. It's,
okay.
You know how you can tag Grok and ask it questions?
Yeah. Oh, they have that too?
This is their
it's interesting how X allowed competitors to have that too. Interesting.
Well, they were doing it before them, so if they pulled it away from them, that would be foul.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I mean, although Elon could do that, but okay.
Yeah. So Oxford researchers just confirmed what we feared. Internet as we knew it is dying. Ad content went from 5% in 2020 to 48% in May. Projections say 90% by next year. Why? AI articles cost a penny. Human writers cost $10 to $100. The real crisis is model collapse. When AI trains on AI generated content, quality degrades like photocopying a photocopy. Rare ideas disappear. Everything converges to generic sameness. It's recursive. Today's AI slop becomes tomorrow's training data. Producing worse output, which becomes training data again.
So they put it out there. What is their solution to this, though? Is this just a plain fact, and they're just saying fear this, or what? Like,
yeah, this is them summarizing what the Oxford researchers put out.
Oh, the Oxford research did, right? Not but you know what's interesting is what's the term? Did you hear this term recently? Where it's not darknet, but sounds something like darknet, where this is a concept of where internet turns into dead because AI is interacting with AIs and most content is AI generated and AI agents are talking to each other. It's like no humans involved. What's that called? Dead internet? I think it's called dead internet.
Singularity?
Singularity is when AI merges with humans.
Okay. Not the internet.
This is where it's something internet. It's called something. I think it's called dead internet theory, actually. So
it actually sounds. Yeah, that sounds
right. Something like where essentially we guys get the point is like where the internet becomes this place where bots talking to each other. Yeah.
Yeah. That is interesting. I mean, that's what we're gonna get to. I don't know. I'm on two sides of this fence because with SEO, I'm like, you got to put out good AI content. You're not gonna keep up unless you have a really large team with human content producers, because I believe this is one of the tweets we have up top. I don't know if I have it saved, but marketers, marketing leaders in the next generation, they're going to succeed by not looking at AI as a way to reduce costs, but as a lever of abundance. You can create so much more content and spread your web so much wider with AI. If marketers look at it solely as reducing costs, that's, in my opinion, and from what I saw, not going to be a success factor. So tying that back into this, I'm not shying away from AI-generated articles, but the fine-tuning and human in the loop is going to become more and more important to separate from this.
For sure. I think, look, there's going to be three parallels on the internet, I think. There's going to be the dead internet, which is all AI to AI, like basically AI input, AI output, and AI consuming AI.
This is AI to AI, where they don't hide
publicly.
it.
Yeah, right. And then there's going to be a human-to-human element with some AI systems in between. And then somewhere on that spectrum, there's going to be that middle where like something like Sora, right? If we take Sora 2 app as an example, I think that's a perfect example of the middle ground where all the content is AI generated. However, the prompts are human made and the consumers are humans, right?
Yeah. It's intentionally AI made for human interaction. Yeah.
Correct.
Totally.
Yeah. Like, but I get this point of what if like AI then starts getting trained on the AI slop that is Sora 2?
I think it already is. I think it already has been. There's things that I've
That's
put
scary.
into GPT back around this launch date here that
Yeah.
several months later, maybe here, when I would ask about a specific startup, it would regurgitate. This is from different devices. It would regurgitate some of the things that I
That you
continuously.
gave in?
I said, "Hey, what do you know about this company?" ChatGPT didn't know anything about that company. I would say, "Hey, this is what the company does." Upload so many different files of like the different products, ancillary things off
And then
of
you
it.
went from another account and it knew it?
And months later, it referred to the company in those similar marketing terms that I was working through with it in GPT.
But in your own account, though.
Yeah, it was training on its own data and accessible from other GPT searches.
I believe that was
searches
individually for your
on a
account,
different
but
device.
I think largely, yeah, if like multiple users feed the same data, there's patterns that it
No, I'm
becomes a
saying
training
I
data.
confirmed it. Yeah, well, one, they've admitted that it's training on what you do if you're not on
Yeah.
a business account or don't
Right.
do the disclosures. I did
Like the
months
$200
with
account?
this company on content, and then I went to it on my personal account and asked it about the company, and it brought up a lot of the talking points that I helped generate. GPT helped me generate for that company. So that's what I'm saying. In this time period here, I already saw that they were training the models on what it was going through itself. Not saying
Wow.
solely that me telling it this is what it is did that, but through all the different documents that I worked through with it, the different web pages that went out there from that, it's crazy how many different layers there are to this. But I'm gonna end my rant there.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of this. I think on the bright side, this pushes the need for human creativity, that human in the loop or an independent human produced content even more.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this technology as we know it is nowhere near like fully replacing anybody. If anything, this just proves that. So,
Yep.
yeah, interesting times to be alive, man.
All right, hopping over to a simple one. $238 bill from an app with 200,000 users. Who even competes with Supabase these days? What's your
Wonder
initial?
here's how Supabase bills will look like when your app has 200,000 users. This is super okay. I don't like these posts, I gotta say, because these are very biased and very headliney kind of things. Okay, now Supabase is known to be a lot more affordable than Firebase, right? Which is why a lot of people use it, and they've caught up to Firebase in terms of. I remember when Supabase just came out, they were known as like the cheaper alternative to Firebase, but with less features. Now they're like they don't have less features. They have which to all our founders out there, guys, go and fucking compete with big dogs. Be that David to the Goliath. Like this was the David to Goliath. Like Firebase, who the fuck would like dare to compete with Google? But these guys did it, and they fucking smashed them, right? I don't know if they have more users, but that's just on Supabase. Now, going back to this headline, I don't really like it because this does not give any context to what the app is. Is this a video-based app? Is this a text-based app? How active are your 200,000 users? Are these daily active users? Or are they just historical registered users? And what's the comparison? Like, these are just fucking headlines. And what's your revenue on this app? No context. And
Yeah.
so you're just like chasing a fucking headline. That's all I see here.
Agreed. It's definitely a little rage bait on that level because, as we know, the things stack up for how much you're doing in the app of what this is going to cost. This is probably just authentication, right? 200,000 users did their email and password, and that's what's saved in Supabase.
Yeah.
When you start getting into AI and edge functions in there, those
Yeah.
are whole different plans and costs, and
Exactly. And actually, Firebase fired back, pun intended, at Supabase with adding the whole Google AI suite into the Firebase. I do not think Supabase has a competing offer to that because all of Gemini's Nano Banana, The VO3, do you know they're all out of the door available in Firebase now to implement into your apps? We talked about it back a few months ago. You can add all the AI features through Firebase now to your app without having to custom backend this thing.
You talking about this?
What is this? Literally introducing grounding with Google Maps and Gemini API. Yeah, bring data about 200 million billion in Google and Gemini together to create all new experience. Well, it's probably part of it because Gemini is part of Firebase now. Gemini for developers is part of Firebase. So for those who don't know, Firebase is the backend as a service that Google provides. It's supposed to be just a database, but with Firebase, you can build apps without coding on the backend, save a lot of dev hours. And they're allowing all of the Google tools to be available to other developers too. So Google is, a hard, player to compete with.
Yeah, they can just, at the flip of a switch, do something like this and make everything.
Which does not mean, again, going back to headlines, dude. You know what the headlines always say? OpenAI just destroyed 17 YC startups. No, they didn't. Even if they added a fucking feature, your startup's still focusing on that. Like, I'll talk to our customers here for a second. I'll talk to a lot of our customers that come to us and say, how many times did we have this situation, Andrew, when somebody had a startup idea and in the midst of them developing that, they go disappointed because oh, Google just added this as a feature, or a big company added this as a feature. It does not matter. They added that exactly. They added that as a feature. Or even if it's a product, this is one of their 17,000 products. You, being a specialized startup just focusing on that, is going to have your own spot in the market. I'm a huge believer in specialization, as you know. And I'm ready to compete with Google, Apple, and all these products on any given day. Although Apple is a tough one. You know that Apple's own built-in apps, we talked about this a few months ago, they all suck across the board compared to all the other alternatives, but they have the biggest market share. But again, they may have 70% market share, you may have 20, but you're still a big company. So go out there and compete is my again, business take on this.
Yep, size versus specialization, and like we see with all things, when things get too big, they move too slow, right? And
exactly, and they go out there and acquire other startups that are quick.
Yeah, and I think
what is this though?
This is grounding with Google Maps in the Gemini API, bringing data about 250 million places and Gemini together to create new experiences.
So what's the example of implementing? How can I use this as a developer?
You can connect map plus search together in a single experience.
So if I'm building let's say a Yelp competitor, right, with a directory of all the places, I can add, I think that's what it is. I can add all these places, but plus use Gemini with it.
Yes, that's what it appears. So you can chat. Basically, Google Maps has Gemini built into it, just like the AI.
It does, which it does for its own users. Yes, I can go on a Google Maps business and I can ask something about the place, and it will check through like the reviews and whatnot and give me an answer. I guess you can mimic that whole experience in your own app now. They're basically saying you can do what we do on your own app.
That's mighty interesting. But speaking of acquisitions, this makes me want to roll into what we have here. Barely AI. This is actually
I love the name.
Privacy built AI, started by Trung Phang. If you're on Twitter, you know him. Trung Phang, I think is his name. This guy, you've definitely seen him post somewhere.
Maybe. See, he makes like the funny videos or what?
Yeah, he started out with crazy breakdowns, and then he just got into memes.
Okay, probably, yeah. Memes, dude. Memes rule the internet.
Yeah. But the post here, we started talking through this earlier. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. So, Uber is now allowing drivers an option to make money while they're not driving, doing digital tasks. These are short, data labeling, uploading restaurants from menus, recording audio samples of themselves, narrating scenarios in different languages. The opportunity here has been shown. Scale AI and Surge AI, the two largest AI data labeling startups, reached 30 billion valuations in, I think, less than 3 years, somewhere along those lines. But this is now, in my prediction, what we went through earlier, is everybody's going to start packing this in to their app in some form or another, where you can make some money by labeling data for AI training models. Now, what did we say was one of the potential worst features of AI right now? That it's going to turn into AI slop, the dead internet theory, because the training data is bad. Well, now they're bringing humans in the loop here, and quite literally the gig economy, to label that data for them. Acquisition-wise, Uber acquired a AI data labeling service. Can't remember what the name
Which
of
helps you sell that, right? Not the actual service. That's important to note.
They have
the back end or the front end?
Well, I'm saying the back end to this for Uber. This company they acquired is already selling and knows how to offload all this labeled data.
Correct.
They needed
That's
Uber,
part of the back end.
front end, the gig economy, the drivers to label that.
That's what you mean, front and back end. Gotcha. Yeah, which is kind of a little bit of back end here too, but without getting too deep into technical geekness.
Not technical front end, back end.
Correct. Yeah. To be clear, but this is super big move by Uber. My prediction is this. One thing I noticed on one of the screenshots you showed me earlier is, what did it say? Work hub? Is that what it said? Work hub.
Yes.
Right?
Work
is
hub.
what they're calling this whole thing. Now, let me highlight one thing that's very important. While this is a hot trend, and you could say this is a one-off, they're just riding the wave of this trend of data labeling, right? I don't think that's, there's more to this. Yeah, that's what it says, Work Hub. You see, get approved for earning opportunities. I want to highlight this, very important. Earning opportunities, Work Hub, and this is one of the tasks in there, along with rides. The rides is one. Tasks is another category, and in tasks, this is just one of many upcoming tasks, which there's this episode of Black Mirror where you have to do tasks for money and then it gets really dark. Remember that?
Yeah, they start out on the electric bikes or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, and then you have to do horrible things for others, which I hope this doesn't happen at Uber, although you could argue about data labeling being kind of bad, but we're not getting too deep into that. This is interesting because they're going to make these drivers, not make them, but allow them to do different gig work. So I predict that Uber becomes the marketplace for gig work on their app. So rides is just going to be one part of Uber, because they tried expanding beyond rides, right? And they tried to do autonomous cars and they dropped that whole project, as we know, famously. No. And I think they're leaning towards the marketplace element. They know that sooner or later, these rides will be replaced by autonomous vehicles, right? So that drivers won't be able to make money driving. And this is their hedge against that, actually.
Long-term hedge there, absolutely.
For sure, which we're saying max 10 years, there'll be a huge, massive decline of drivers, right?
And supply demand wise, there's so many gig economy workers right now trying to get orders from DoorDash. It's crowded.
It's very crowded. Yep. So now you can't just get by with just rides. So Uber sees itself. I think this is their signal to the market that we see ourselves as a gig worker marketplace, whatever the gig is. We're going beyond rides, and this is a start. This is a small $1 per task kind of thing, but we're going to be adding more things. And what's interesting is they're the marketplace for marketplace, meaning they're going to allow other companies to list their services in here. While this is all in-house for them through an acquisition, I think in the future they're going to allow other companies list their gigs on Uber, which is going to make this massive.
Yeah, this thing has had my brain spinning all day. I'm excited for it. I got a couple ideas that Sardor and I already talked through. We're working on. I think we'll be putting something together in this space.
I think we can put it out there. I think listeners can contribute to this idea. We're thinking of something where, what if not just Uber but other apps wanted to enable this on their app as an additional way to make income for their users? There could be a company I could offer this as a white label thing where you plug it in and we add that marketplace to your app and you get the parts of our earnings through your app. And money-making apps are always popular. The easiest way to make somebody download an app is to tell them they can make money on the app, correct? So there's all these tapper apps where you can just doom scroll through ads. One of them is our past client, Addit. Shout out to Added guys that made an app where you can watch ads and make money. That's just one way to make money. Added actually could be listed on the Uber app one day as one of the mini apps to make money on their work hub, right? That's a perfect example. So there's this app called Added where advertisers pay them and they pay users to watch ads and they get a cut of it. That's another way to make money, right?
Yep.
So whatever it is, it may be something crazy unpredictable is how you make money online through gigs. Like surveys is another one. You can go through surveys and get paid, right?
This is the
that
next
could be listed here.
level of that is how I've been feeling.
Yeah. And I think Uber will start in-house with these tasks and then they'll outsource this to other like task providers, right? Or developers that want to build apps that make money. So, oh man, the future does not look bright here though. I don't think it'll be fun to have people just kind of be on their phone all the time and like do dumb tasks.
When is AI going to be good enough to take that job too? Like these digital tasks, like isn't
Dude,
that
turned into a dark internet? That internet though. Imagine like this data is being labeled for the AI training, so it better be humans.
It's like a organic or USDA tag on a piece of meat. Like this is human labeled data we got in our app.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was my other prediction, right?
Data humans did. It's gonna be.
I have a post from 2 years ago on my Telegram channel where I said this, what you just said, where I said that things that are going to be made by AI are going to be labeled as organic. There's going to be a label similar to what we say organic on the food. There's going to be a similar label on things that are made by humans instead of AI. So that's going to be like a handmade kind of like craft, kind of a symbol of that,
Handcrafted.
So yeah, like human crafted or something. That's the future label, which is very Black Mirror-y, so to say. But yeah, big news, big predictions.
Now, one of my favorite things to look at is AI benchmarks, how each model is comparing against the others. But that gets into the weeds, the technicals, reasoning scores, X, Y, and Z. It's not too fun. This, however, let's see where we got here. This one, nope, not that one. Over here, nope, not that one. I thought we had it. Here we go. The Alpha Arena is officially live as of a handful of days ago. They gave 6 AI models $10K to trade fully autonomously. Real money, real markets, real benchmark. It's interesting to see. And then somebody went and tokenized the performance of these. So people are now betting on the performance of these. Oh my
God. This is so meta.
Yeah, it's pretty wild all around. Yesterday I did see the update. I think it was 2 days in. DeepSeek was up 33%. GPT down 25% and Gemini down 30%.
Like our traffic wise or what?
No, portfolio wise. DeepSeek turned the portfolio into X, Y, and Z. Their model traded the 10K successfully and they had a 30% gain. Gemini and GPT were down almost 30% after 2 days. So this is a live competition. You can see how the portfolios are doing. I feel like we got to look into this.
To be clear, these are not agents that are provided by these companies themselves. This is another company that built an agent that is powered by the LLM of these companies, correct?
Yes, and connected to brokerages, etc. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder what the technology behind the agent is, because it's got to be one agent, to be fair.
Yeah, the system
like DeepSeek doesn't have an agent, like all these are running on some kind of an independent agent that is powered by the LLM's instructions. Probably a custom built thing.
Where can I see the...
This should have been a live show on YouTube, dude. Why didn't they make it a show?
Yeah.
I missed out.
Commenters, oh my gosh, DeepSeek just went all in on Apple.
Really?
I was.
Oh, that's what you were just saying. Yeah.
Where's the leaderboard?
Dude, Xi Jinping would punish that model if it did. If it went on all American companies.
Leaderboard. Find me the leaderboard. What's going on
global.
Here? I have no idea what this is. This is something completely different. See, now this is interesting. I clicked that tab, that link that I didn't want to. There we go. That's what we do. Go ahead and throw it right out of there. Hyperliquid. Here we go. This is exactly what we wanted.
Wow.
All right.
What are they up by?
You can see the total profit here.
So GPT-5 dropped from 10K to, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, this should be a show. Should be a show. This is so interesting.
And it looks as if it's crypto, not stocks here.
Well, they're all trading crypto, or it chose to trade crypto?
Well, it shows the active positions of the winning model here. I wonder if they have access to both.
Oh, so they can trade anything. They can trade crypto or stocks.
I don't know. It appears it's only crypto.
I'm very curious on how the agent runs, because it's got to be a process. It's not a living entity, to be clear. So how it works is there's an LLM that is run through an agent. An agent communicates back its gains to the LLM and says, what should I do next? And then the LLM says, we should do this, we should do that. Like, you should sell ETH and buy Bitcoin, or that's how it goes. I assume.
Yeah. And look at this. This is interesting. Gemini 2.5 Flash, it's the quick model meant to be fast, has made 85 trades over here.
Because it's quick.
Whereas
the biggest
DeepSeek
trade is with just 6 trades.
Have made a
biggest
total
gain.
of 8.
Wow. Elon must be proud, though, of, like, being ahead of Claude and all the other American models, though. So
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
and I think Grok has a unfair advantage here because of FinTwit and Grok's knowledge base.
What's a FinTwit?
FinTwit, finance Twitter. Grok has access to what everybody's actively talking about. I'm curious how much.
Everybody have access to Twitter as being public?
No, you got to connect to their API. If you're on DeepSeek or GPT-5, it can't pull data from Twitter unless
That makes
you
sense.
connect to the API.
Wow, this is all right. I'm not super happy that DeepSeek is ahead, of course, but as usual, not. I mean, Chinese kids have always been better at math, right? Although this is not math, but like, if this was a classroom, you wouldn't be surprised that the Asian kid is ahead,
Okay, it is all crypto. It appears to be 6 leading cryptos here, but you can go into each model.
Oh, Grok was too? They're all trading crypto?
Yeah, you can go into the models here, see, yep, they're all trading the same 6 assets, so that's that we have clear here.
But still, it's,
Yeah. What is live?
That is.
Oh, wow, that's cool. This is cool.
This isn't a span of how many days?
Let's see, the 17th, so 4 days.
Only 4 days and $3,000. When is the competition over? Whoever made this is genius.
November 3rd, season 1. Oh, this is.
Who are we betting on? Let's do bettings, dude. It's a huge market. Yeah. I think at the end.
I want to bet on Grok, but.
Yeah?
I feel like you want to.
I say it's either going to be Grok or I think Claude. I'm a Claude believer, though, so I think Claude is going to be winning.
Claude was close.
My prediction is at the end, Claude's going to win. What's a BTC buy and hold? Oh, they're just keeping BTC. Oh, it's interesting to compare that, too. But that would have to be a longer span. Yo, it depends on how long the competition is, right? If the competition was over a span of a year or longer, the longer the competition is going to be, the more the Bitcoin would just win, or S&P. You know what I mean? Because since this is a short-term thing, like Bitcoin can't just win unless it just spikes up. Right?
And that's what I would want to see too, is who can do it long-term. Because, like you saw, Grok had 2 trades. It could have had 2 killer trades, a little bit of luck in there, timing in there, right? We got to see how this shakes out. But they do say each model is given 10,000 real markets, real money, identical prompts and input data. Wow, they even have the model chat in here.
Mixed bag of positions. Oh, they're chatting with each other.
This is results. Like the messages that are coming out of the models.
Wow. They should build another agent on top of this. Oh, you know how cool it would be if somebody else built an AI host, a hot girl that's hosting the show and commenting on all this live on Sora 2, the AI app, right? That actually is the dead internet.
Yeah, things are about to get wild.
The dead internet, man. I kind of find it fun, though.
Wow. It messages like every 3 minutes, by the way, Sardor.
Wow. Dude, how much compute is being spent on this? I feel like these guys are going to lose more money on compute, but gain traction on to whatever. Who made this? Nuff one. Is that Nuffle?
Alpha Arena, I know they've been around for like a year as like one of the leader places to see which models are performing better, and it looks like they got acquired by this company.
Wow. DeepMind revolutionary AI research. Yeah. Who got it? Okay. Number of one. First AI research lab focused on financial markets. So they focus on financial markets. Oh, these guys acquired them, right? I see.
Acquired Alpha Arena, yeah.
So no wonder they're making this.
Or created it.
Okay. Gotcha. Super fun.
But that's wild. And we'll have to pull this up once a pod and see how it's going over the next month.
Yeah. Let's do our bets in the comments. Whoever listening, leave your bets on the comments.
Yeah, I might have to see how much their bots cost and go throw some of my crypto at it. All right, there is one more thing for us to go through today.
Better be a meme or what?
The AWS outage and the meme that goes with it. This was a global tech outage, as the mainstream media news was referring it to, and affected a lot of people. So, anybody out there that might not be in the weeds of all this, I think this is kind of a good simplified breakdown of what it is. With any website, there is DNS involved, domain name servers. This is what tells what to point at where, passing you along from URL to URL, so on and so forth. So what happened first is there was a DNS issue, expired. I don't know if they've found out exactly what it was yet. But that was on one of their most important servers. This broke DynamoDB, a database which many other Amazon services depend on. EC2 launches, Lambda jobs, these are all different components of AWS, started failing due to the chain effect here. Once AWS fixed the core issue, it still takes a lot of time for all that to catch up. So if you're wondering, Amazon is this large company, how can they fix this in 5 minutes? Well, sometimes the fix is issued and half the internet's still not working. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's a too big of a thing, and US 1 is a great analogy, right? It's the major highway, right, for the internet. Which, but these big headlines are an opportunity for, I think, the smaller guys. Like, I wonder why, not wonder why, but I just say that I think some smaller players, like we use DigitalOcean as an alternative to AWS, could have capitalized on this opportunity as a PR, putting out some kind of fun video.
I did see a lot of companies themselves capitalizing on this. One of them being 8 Sleep. 8 Sleep, their mattresses didn't work for the whole day. So people were complaining that, my mattress shouldn't need to be connected to the internet to work. So a lot of companies have been using this as new campaigns saying that they're Amazon proofing their businesses. So they're putting in extra fallback layers or getting off of AWS entirely. It's interesting to see where this goes. And on top of that, don't know if this was hitting the news cycle, but there was a startup that held a company-wide meeting where they jointly clicked their close account button on their AWS account saying, we're no longer attached to the Amazon Dragon. And they phrased it as they did it. That video was from yesterday, yesterday when the outage happened.
The day before it.
They're like,
What's happened?
Good thing the outage happened the day we were closing our Amazon account. But it is a message that, you can't have too many things stacked up on one little piece. There is a meme of all these stones stacked up and Amazon US East being this little piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Kind of looking
Although this wasn't as big as the Cloudflare outage that was, causing a lot more troubles last time.
Yeah. Wasn't as big as that. To my understanding, it affected a lot more apps, especially AI-related things. I don't think... Yeah.
So I wonder if this was a human error, though, at the end. Like, it must be a human in the loop that messed it up, right?
Yeah, let's ask Grok.
Because it's got to be how with the most, plane accident, it's 99% of the time, it's the fault of the pilot, not the technical fault. So I assume some worker out there just messed up the DNS setting. It's like they had their own Zahar, went down there and messed up.
Let's see what Grok says. Grok has been disconnected. Huh?
I wasn't running on AWS.
X was also flexing on the whole thing because they had zero outage. They're all on their own XAI servers.
They don't offer hosting, so missed out.
Yep. Well, I guarantee you Elon's strategizing how that's going to roll out.
Oh yeah, he's gonna offer his own AWS X hosting.
What is going on here? Another interesting part of this is people used it as attack on Signal. Signal is supposed to be end-to-end encrypted chat. They were down because of AWS, and there's a lot of
So they still on AWS.
Elon said, "Come over to X Chat because we're not down."
They have X Chat, like
X Chat's end-to-end encrypted chat now in X, and
like
Jason
Signal
said Jason Calacanis said he's off Signal and he's only using X Chat.
I thought they'd be switching to Telegram. You know, Elon has an upper hand on this chat. I didn't know it was out. I thought it was just a Twitter chat. Like you have to have an X account for that, right? For X Chat.
Yes, I believe.
Ooh, okay, dude. So much news. I love it.
Too much to handle.